Season 1 of Survivor China has wrapped up 2 weeks ago. Today, I'm going to be interviewing some of the cast members in it and Asher himself. Later, I will talk about my opinions about the season itself, so stay tuned. Okay, so first up, we have here Centroid, the one person who a lot of people call a legend, the one person who has two
Yes.
frames per second, the legend himself. Centroid, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great, actually. I just went on a bike ride today, so I feel very refreshed.
That's
And,
pretty good. Okay,
well, my,
so
my computer's doing good.
So, for everyone's information, since the coronavirus outbreak, we cannot speak in front of each other, so we're doing it online. So, Centrit, you are the first boot, and yet a lot of people remember you for being the 2 frame per second guy.
Yes.
So, lately, as I see it, you've been taking it pretty well as a joke. You even joke it yourself. So, how do you feel about it?
To be honest, I know that, I don't really take many things seriously, and, well, I don't think that Minecraft Survivors should be necessarily taken seriously as well. I just applied to have a good time, and, well, despite having some issues, I still had a fun time, and that's what matters in the end, so I'm all good with it.
All right, let's say you come back into another season, right? If you would have the right amount of frames per second to do the challenges and do well, would you come back and what would you do in order to win the game?
No matter what, if I was given an invite, I would come back. I want a second chance. That's just how I am. But what I would do differently, I would, well, kind of just try to get the tribe to know me more. Because, I mean, obviously, if I was to return, people know who I am, but they'd know me as just kind of a 2D character of he has a bad computer, but once I can prove to them, hey, I actually can run this game, and hey, I'm actually a fairly good person, I'd like to think. I think that if I was able to get my social game going in the first couple of rounds, I could make a very deep run in the game.
All right, here, I'll pitch you this, okay? Season 3, there's two captains, you and the first boot of Season 2. Would you like that?
I would like that, actually. I won't spoil who the first boot of Season 2 is, but I think that, well, I would get along with them if I
But you would need to be able to
were given
compete
the
against
opportunity to
them.
be a captain season with them.
All right, so
Yeah, I know I would be able to compete against them, but
so
still, if we were both on the same tribe, I would like to work with them.
Well, thank you so much for taking this interview, Centrid. It's been a delight with talking to you. If you have any final words, please say so.
All right, my computer's better. I'm better, I'd like to think, and Godspeed.
All right, thank you very
That's all I have to
much.
say.
All right, so we are here with I Love Tien, or Tien for short, who is the fourth place, Rob Goddess, I guess, if you want to say it. Honestly, let's not say Rob Goddess. He's a king, the Rob King. So, how are you doing, Tien?
Good, thank you.
So, coming down to it, you were so close into winning immunity and being in that final three spot. That should
Yeah.
sting, Like I felt so bad seeing like you didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that had I won that immunity, I win the game. Looking back at what I did at the Final Four, though, and me losing immunity, I should have told either Isaac or Luigi that if they decided to put me into fire making, I would probably lose anyway because my challenge ability wasn't that great. So if they had put me in, I would have said, if you put me into fire making and I lose, which is a high possibility, I will guarantee you a jury vote. And I think that might have gotten one of them to flip.
It would have
But
been smart. However, you probably would have won against Sia.
yeah, I know. But I would have just said that I wouldn't win because I want them to think that he's not going to win anyway. So if he gets out, that's just a free jury vote.
All right. So you are a distinct kind of cast member because you were joined by your brother, your twin brother, actually.
Yes.
So it's interesting to see how different you guys played. You guys were both on different tribes almost the whole time until
Yeah.
Jervy was rocked out of the game. So how do you feel about your brother and how he played the game?
He was. This is no offense to him whatsoever, but he was definitely one of the worst players of the season.
It's brother
He-
love.
He could have he could have easily stayed in had he not tried to go to rocks and on a 6-person tribe. So he had a 25% chance to get out to rocks, but he did it anyway and he got out. So
You
very
both,
dumb move on his part.
if you both would have gone to merge, would you guys have been a power duo or would you guys have kept distant with each other?
Honestly, I'm not too sure because I know my original tribe definitely wanted to try and stay together, but I wasn't sure about his tribe. I think I could have tried to flip him over if possible, but we have this thing. We normally go for each other if it benefits us. We don't really take outside stuff into the game anyway.
All right.
So I think it would have just been pure game, not relationship.
All right. Sounds great. So thank you so much for doing this interview. I know it's short, but you know what? Hopefully, if you would have another chance of coming back into the game, what would you do and what would you do differently?
Well, I definitely think my challenge ability has improved a lot, so I would maybe try and do better in the challenges than I did in Season 1. And if I came back, I would also try and play more of my own game because people felt as though I was playing Derp's game, which is kind of true in a way, but it's also like I was playing a very good game. So I would definitely try and make it more known that I am playing my own game and I am playing to win.
All right. Thank you very much, Tien. Hopefully you take care of yourself. And hey, if you are in a future season, I'll definitely say hashtag Team Tien.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're here with Isaac for Smash, or just Isaac, I guess, who is co-runner-up with Saya, who lost by 1 vote. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I lost by 1 vote, and Tien, who voted for Luigi, says that in hindsight he would vote for me, so
Yeah.
that's pretty not ideal.
In another interview, we already interviewed Tien. He did say that. And I don't know. I mean, what could you have done differently, except for speak out a little bit more? We can be honest here. We are friends, and I know that you don't like to be as loud as other people can be, like me.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much you can do when there are people in the jury who just don't want you to win because they're angry at you. There's not much you can do about that. And I think that Derp and Curbs, the things they were saying at Final Tribal Council and the actions they were taking really hurt my chance to the point where I think nothing I could have done could have earned any votes from anyone except for Frog, who was the only person I think that genuinely went in there fully focused and on trying to learn as much as they could and make the most educated decision. I know that Tien was very mentally out of it at the time and that he was tired, mentally out of it. He was also still in a bit of shock from being voted out. So
coming down to it, if you would have another chance at the game, would you take it, and what would you do differently?
I would, if I were to get a second shot to play again, maybe I wouldn't in newbies mixed with tourney situation, but for an all-stars cast, I would definitely play again. What I would do differently, I'm not sure. I think I would try to be a little bit, I would have to change up my game a little bit because I can't get away with playing the same way again. I'm not sure how exactly I would change it up, but I definitely would. I would still obviously want to be very strategic, but I think I'd have to be a little more out there and change my role in the game so that people would be more willing to keep me around.
So, from the outwit, outplay, outlast, which one would you focus on more if you play the second time?
The second time, I don't know. I think I'd try to focus a bit a bit more on let's see, probably a bit more on Outlast. I usually focus a lot on Outwit to the point where I'm sitting back, analyzing everything before I go in. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that if I were to play again on an all-star cast, because at that point, everybody kind of, my biggest advantage coming into this season definitely was the fact that nobody on this cast really knew me, and nobody really understood how I played. So that was an advantage to me. But now, knowing that people know that I'm very strategic, I'm willing to backstab, I can't just try to play that game again. So I'm going to have to focus a lot more on building more connections with people that will get me further.
Well, you were very sneaky in season 1, that's for sure. But
I
coming
will.
down to it, if you would play in All Stars, you would also know what other people would do. And let's say, and as we have seen from the real Survivor show, not everyone is adaptable.
Yep.
So you would have a better chance depending on what strategy you use. However, that is if it ever comes down to it, because we can't foresee the future. But yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoyed you in the game, and I really saw you shine through the season. Most of the time when when we play together, or when we watch together, I see you almost really quiet and not even strategize that much. This season, it's really different, so I'm really proud of you for that.
It's cool.
And you know what? If you do come back and I'm not in there, then I'm definitely going to say hashtag Team Isaac again, because I do think that you deserve to win. Not saying that Luigi didn't deserve to win, because he did, but I wish that you would have won.
Me too.
Okay, so thank you so much for this interview. Hopefully we'll talk to you later. But yeah, that's it for now. All right, so we are here with what people would actually call one of the most robbed people in the season. You know what? The most swap screwed person in the season. Twice. But now we can give him a different title. You are the fan favorite. How are you doing, Frog?
I'm doing alright,
So, coming into the season, you were probably what people would kind of perceive, mediocre. No one really knew you. And then once the swaps happened, a lot of people saw you as, the robbed god of the season.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about winning fan favorite?
I mean, it's good to have won something. There's accusations that I advertised. I didn't. I know I didn't. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. They voted. I can't physically force them to vote me.
Wait,
So,
I wasn't supposed to advertise for you?
Well,
Nah, just kidding. Just kidding. No, it's just a joke.
No, at the end of the day, they had the choice, and they chose to put as many votes as they could on me. So, it is what it is.
Another thing that a lot of people know you by is that you breathe really loudly into your mic.
I did.
Can you reenact that for us? All right, okay.
Yeah,
So
we fixed that problem.
that's good. Although we do hear a lot of popping into your mic now.
Ah, yes, the classic pop.
Yes, exactly, just that. Okay, so if you would have a chance of coming back into a different season, whether it be All Stars or Second Chances or Fans versus Favorites or maybe even the Tribe Captain, you never know. What would you do it, and what would you do differently?
Well, I definitely go back if I get asked to go back. I probably wouldn't change much. I was in an alright position, and like you said, the two swaps really kind of screwed me out. If there wasn't that second swap, definitely screwed me out. Because I know I was tight with Derp and Tien, and then Derp and Marcus switch, Sire and Tien form a pact with Sam and Marcus. I had no chance.
Okay, so if you did not
honestly, I wouldn't change much.
If you did not have these swaps, and you had, a better swap where, you could have had control, do you think you would have gone far and win the game?
I think I would have gotten a lot farther than I did. I'm not necessarily certain I would have won the game, but I feel like I would have played a lot better than what I was given.
All right. So thank you so much for this interview. You know what? If you're coming back, I might, root for you since, you're a fan favorite. I mean, I'm here next to a legend who's fan favorite. Can you believe it?
No.
So yeah, no, I mean, if you do come back into the game, I might be rooting for you. I don't fully know yet. Like I wasn't really rooting for you in season one, but hey, if you do come back and you do have a different story and you win the game, then you would definitely deserve it.
Yeah, and hey, if I was to see you on a season, I know I'd root for you as well.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be on a season, so I'm kind of retired, I guess.
Yeah. But
All right.
It's been cool.
So thank you very much for the interview. I'll see you later. All right, so winner, chicken dinner. We have Luigi here. How are you doing?
Hello.
Okay, so you won season 1 of Asher's in China. So
Did
how
I?
are you feeling about the win?
Bittersweet.
Why is that?
Well, the reason why, everyone was saying the final 3 didn't deserve to be there, and then everyone said that my win wasn't deserved. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
bittersweet.
I'm one of them. I'm gonna be real here. I'm one of them. But
Yeah, I know.
here's the thing. I'll do say this because whoever is in the final 3 do deserve it, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're the worst 3 people ever. The one who won deserves it. The one who is second deserves it. The one who's third deserves it. In this case, you won, and then there's 2 co-runner-ups.
Yeah.
So how do you feel having that vote so close, at 3-2-2? That's insane.
I was not surprised. Like, I'm not. Okay, here. I was very surprised by it, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be that close.
I mean, if it would have been any closer, it could have been a 3-3-1. And then either Saya or Isaac would have chosen who they wanted to win.
So yeah.
Just imagine that, like you versus one of those 2, and it would have been that close. Oh, let's talk a little bit about your game, because really though, like if I say so myself, you've been really under the radar throughout the whole season.
Yeah, pretty much.
You did win 3 immunities, which is pretty impressive. You tied the record with Derp. With Derp. And
yeah, what can I say? I'm a comp beast.
Well, okay, like Latino people, we're pretty strong. Like look at our muscles.
Way.
All right, so regardless, if you would come back for a new season, for a different season, whether it be all stars or captains or maybe half, newbies or half returnees, would you do it? And what would you do differently?
Yeah, I would, without a doubt, if I would be in any season they casted me for. And what would I do differently? I would try to be more out there, cause I was quiet the whole time, and that's that season 1. So if I ever got in a different one, I would be more out there and try to control things.
Definitely see you doing that, because in this season, yeah, you were pretty quiet, but that's also because you came in 2 days before everyone else, like when the season started.
2 minutes actually.
Well, in the
So I didn't
wiki
really
it
get
says
to-
2 days, so we have to go out of the wiki.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so glad to have seen you play the game, and regardless of what happens or even what my opinion is, while I do think that maybe Isaac should have won, you deserve to win. But thank you so much for taking this interview, and you know what, if you are coming back for a new season, I'm definitely expecting you to do better. Better than
Thank
what you
you.
already have, so yeah. Any final words?
I guess cool.
Cool.
And that's it.
All right, thank you. All right, so we are here. The best for last, the host with the most, Asher. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Jervy?
So, season one just ended a few days ago, and are you proud of your series, or like, do you think you could have improved on like how you edited, or cast or whatever?
Um, like all first seasons, it was really difficult to get a full cast and figure out, how everything needs to be run and all that. So in that sense, I'm still proud of it. That didn't take away from it for me because I know that I can always improve on that in the future. The big thing that could have been improved was the editing, especially in the beginning. I feel like the quality of the episodes improved as they went on, and I
I,
hope to continue improving them in season two.
yeah, I do have to agree with that because I remember like watching episode one, and there was a lot of like elements missing from like the real show. I mean, you're not creating, a real survivor here. You're making a micro survivor. But coming down to it, once we saw like progression, it became really fun to watch, at least for me. I don't know about other people, of course, but you know. But yeah, when it comes down to it, how do you feel about Luigi winning the game for a 3-2 to 2 vote?
It was definitely really close, and I actually didn't even know who the winner was going into editing the first episode. There
Oh,
were still a couple
really?
people that hadn't voted. It was a little bit of a mess. It could have been handled better, but yeah, I was kind of editing at the beginning, not really knowing who the winner was. At one point, Saya actually had them votes, so it was a roller coaster for me. But I'm happy with the end result. I think that all three of the finalists worked really hard, despite what you know the jurors may think or what the audience may think. I'm proud of all of them, and I'm proud of Luigi too.
All right, so most of the cast, at least what I've heard, a third of the cast was not originally cast, and some of them came in as backups. Are you happy with the backups you got, or do you think you would have preferred like the previous cast? I mean, no offense to people who are backups, but you're a backup for a reason.
Yeah, it's really hard to say because I am happy with how the season turned out ultimately. I think that some of the backups that did play added a lot to the season overall, and it would have been a lot different with the original cast. So I couldn't really tell you which one would be better because I don't know how it would have turned out that way. I'm just happy that we got a full cast and that I got to edit the full season and that it turned out being a success.
All right, so any final words for the audience? Maybe, hey, apply for season two, or maybe apply for season three. It's all up to you.
Thank you so much for watching. If you did, I definitely am excited to keep bringing seasons as long as I can. I hope that you'll watch season two and hopefully apply for future seasons if that's something that I do end up doing.
All right. Thank you so much, Asher, for joining us. Now we're going to go for some else. What? Oh, sorry. Now we're going to go for some end conclusions on my end. So hopefully stay tuned for that. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Am I a... Now we're going to be into the segment of talking about the season and my opinions about it. So getting down to it, it was a good season, and it really it started off rough. It did, and that's what we already have established inside of the interviews. However, it was really tough to watch. I guess I wasn't willing to watch like the rest of the season, but I'm glad that I didn't because I'm happy to have seen the season as a whole. And it's a good season, it really is. Just it's unfortunate that some people might not be like the best characters in there. I mean, coming down to it, Luigi, yeah, he won the game, but is he the one who really deserves to statistically to win the game throughout everything that happened in season 1? He's very neutral. He didn't do much. I mean, he did win challenges, but again, challenges don't dictate what is like the whole season. But two people voted him because of that. Another thing that I would have to say is that, yeah, I think that the bitter jury really tones down the whole season. It's kind of unnecessary of how they spoke to the final three. I mean, coming down to it, no, I do not believe that the final three would be the best final three. I think that Tien or Derp or Marcus or Echo would have been better to be at the final three and like win the game, but you know what? That's just not how it happened. The final three is the final three for a reason, and they deserve to be there. But yeah, how the jury was so bitter, it's kind of disgusting. I kind of like really don't like it. So that really does like take points away. So from the start of the season, we had what I would say is that in the challenges, we didn't have a lot of music on it and like how we should react on it because music does dictate what happens inside of the episodes or how the viewers are reacting to the episodes themselves. So that was kind of like a big oof, I guess, if you want to say it like that. But coming down to merge, it started to become better. Like Asher's editing became better over time. And if you haven't watched the season yet, and even though like I just said, oh hey, this person won, you should watch the season because you know what, season two will probably become better. Yeah, I'm in that. Like Frog and I, we thought that the preview was not going to be like that soon, but you know what? We tried something and it just didn't work out. Yes, I'm in season two, but I do believe that Asher knows his ways on like how to work in editing and how to put in the music correctly, how to like give everyone a good edit or you know what, not purple edit someone. So I am excited to see season two. But coming down to season one again, because we're talking about season one, the editing was subpar at the beginning, but then became pretty good at the end. So I do give the editing, I guess, a 7 out of 10 because you know what, like if you keep on improving, you should get greater scores because of it. You shouldn't be punished for what you did earlier. So when it comes down to it, the cast, it wasn't like the most preferable cast. Most of the cast was actually not even supposed to be there. However, there was another Survivor going on that a lot of people went to, me included, because I was supposed to be in season one, but I turned it down a week before because I already knew which one I was going to pick. Um, I'm happy that I didn't take it because I don't think I would have been a good fit with this season. Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people have left last second to play the other game, and it's kind of, you know, kind of sucks. But it's an oh well situation. It happens. Asher now knows like how it feels, but like he's fine with it, and the cast is good. But not all of them are, you know, the perfect archetype of what you want in a cast. So I do give the cast an 8 out of 10. Not all of them have been there since the beginning, but that doesn't really matter. But in the season as a whole, of like how everyone reacted, what the game was, how people played, strategy wise, social wise, like the competitions, how were they? I do give it a 5 out of 10. Unfortunately, that is the weakest point of the whole series. And it's especially about the cast, like the people inside of it and like how they acted, aka the jury or you know what, Echo or Derp or Tien. While some of them are pretty, you know, good, like Isaac or Luigi, who are fun to watch, not everyone is the best. And while we have players like Derpy who are great to watch, they didn't fully bring everything to the table because they got out early. You know, Frog, he was robbed because he basically couldn't do anything with the post swap, I guess. And so if he would have been at the merge, everything could have been differently. So yeah, I do have a lot of issues with the season, but again, it is a good season. It's not the worst season I've ever watched in my life. So I do give the whole season a 6 out of 10, and that's just like completely everything like inside of it. Production was great. What I've heard is that most of the people were like egging on Asher to do this series, and I'm glad that they told him to do so because he's actually a good host. I mean, doesn't help that we have a sexy voice as a host, you know, like come on. You don't want someone like me hosting because you know what, like I'm annoying and I know that. But yeah, Asher is a good host. However, he does sound a little bit more monotone. I think something that I would like give him advice over is once you're in tribal council, you have to be like a therapist. If you find something that you found interesting, stop the person and then ask something else. Like get more information out of them. You need to find information from the contestants. If they're not giving it to you, then be unsatisfied. Say it to them. Like you're like, no, I want this, I want this, I want this. Now tell me what the hell is going on. And you have to do that because it does it does kind of change the game in a way, but like also it's like, hey, look out with what you say, because if you say something wrong, it could ruin your game. But yeah, Asher is a good host. Hopefully, he's going to improve on in later seasons, depending if he's going to do a season 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. But yes, I have high hopes for him. But yeah, I do hope that you guys enjoyed. I guess this kind of like little podcast type of video. And I hope you guys enjoyed the interviews. I'm definitely going to be in the watch parties of season 2, so if you guys want to talk to me there, then sure. But you know what? Like, I'm not expecting many people to like me anyway. Not spoiling, just saying that a lot of people don't really like me. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I see you guys on the flip side. Goodbye.